Here, UK guest designer for Bello's Designs, and today I wanted to share with you how I created this Winter Lodge card scene using the Bumble Lodge Lavinia stamp and the cute little Pippin. The inks I used for the background were the shaded lilac distress ink, and for the stamping I used the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. For the blending of the cottage I used 3 Polychromos pencils, and they were ultramarine, light ultramarine and blue violet. The card size I used was Multifarious card, which was 4.25 inches by 6 inches, and the mount size of card in lilac was 4.75 inches by 6.5 inches. The stamps I used were the Bumble Lodge, Pippin, Mini Branch, Slender Mini Mushrooms, and the 2 679 foliage set for those 2. As always, I use a blending brush for blending the inks, but you can use anything you choose to use. I have a fine liner pen and a pencil to touch up any little mistakes that may happen. I have a moon mask to create the large moon there. I use a bone for leveling my card, and I have a white Posca pen for doing the snow. So let's get started. Let's start by the first thing by stamping the lodge, Bumble Lodge. Oops, excuse me. And I want the cottage to be slightly over the right. And next I'm going to do the moon. I'm going to tear off a piece of paper. I'm just going to use that as a rough guide. Now it doesn't matter if it's not completely blended all the same, because I'm going to spritz this with water when I've finished. So it will give a different effect. Oh, I've just seen I missed a little tiny bit of the moon there, so I'm just going to go over that bit now. That's better. And I want the snow to come to about there. And again, it doesn't matter if you go over the cottage a bit, because we're going to be colouring it in similar colours. And you'll see what I mean with this background when we get to the next bit. I'm going to have to swap to my right hand. Go. Then using either a baby wipe or a cloth or even a bit of kitchen roll, I just spray the background, and and then just dab it. And then with the bits that I've got on my tissue, I just lightly, very lightly go over the moon, so it's not such a stark, bright white. Right, we need to let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to just do a couple of little paths on the bottom of the card using the ink. I'm just going to gently brush it up. Yeah. And I have one over here. And a little one at the bottom. Then using the lilac ink, I'm just going to do some sprigs of flowers. This is the same lilac distress ink. I'm just using the top part of the flowers. Maybe put some here. And another one just here. So, and then we're going to stamp Pippin. I use Pippin a lot. He's quite a handsome young man. Oops. There we go. And now I'm going to just put a little bit of the foliage set. Again, using my bit of torn paper. A bit there. A little bit there. There we go. And now just add some slender mushrooms. Just in the corner there. And another one there. Right. This is almost dry now. So I'm going to put the ink away. I'm going to stamp the branches. I find I turn it around, find it a bit easier to do. Cut down a bit more on that side, I think. There we go. Now I'm just going to start by colouring a little house. I'm colouring these quite freely. I'm not paying too much attention to detail because I'm actually going to mix them together. So I want to leave little gaps so that part of it is blue and part of it will be purple. can see some of it is quite dark and some of it's light. That's intentional. So as I go over, some bits will be more purple and some bits will be more blue. So it gives like a two-tone effect. These pencils blend really, really well. I'm also varying the amount of pressure. So some of them I pressed quite hard and it comes quite dark, and the others I'm doing rather light, just to add a bit of variation. And then when I'm quite happy with it, I'm going to do the bands around the edge in the purple and immediately underneath it where the little dark lines are, to make it stand out a bit. I mean, you can do this in any colour that you choose. I just chose blues and lilacs because it's been very frosty in the UK the last few days. We've been waking up to ice on the roof. And you could also use pens like gel pens. Now I've just gone over slightly on there. I don't know if you can see that. And I can either do one of two things. I have a little mono rubber that can rub it out, which has done it quite fine. But if that didn't rub it out very well, I would just go over with my fine liner, go all the way along. So and it doesn't matter about that black because we're going to put some snow on there. On there. There we go. And I'll just use quite firm pressure doing the bricks around the door. And light pressure on the door. It's already making me feel a bit cold. And then I'll just do a few random bricks in the blue and in the lighter blue. Just going to go over the background. And I'm going to do the stones in different blues. now with the poster pen. I'm just going to go over the just top parts of the branches. And I'm not doing all of the branches, I'm doing most of them. Change direction now. I'm doing a little bit of snow on the mushrooms as well. Now the fun part. Just using my bottom of my brush to splat some snow. And I'm just going to put a few little extra dots. Now, my heat gun in and just dry that off a bit quickly. As you can see, I used the piece of card that I wrote the sizes on because I don't really want to waste any. Nobody sees it because it's on the back and it's glued on. So, using my glue pen, you can use any sort of glue. I just choose to use this type of glue pen. I find it easier. I'm just going to attach that to the card. With my 5x7 card, it just gives it a crisper edge. Right, there we have it. Bumble Lodge. I also did a scene using two of the smaller ones, which same colours but slightly different. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.